I move for no man, no man, no man, no man, no man.
We'll call it a draw.
No man.
Just a flesh wound, just a flesh wound, just a flesh wound.
Hey, Beaches.
What's going on, guys?
Look at those guns, Gary. Are those training camp guns?
Hey, man. I've been in training camp for the last fucking 6 months.
Live in training camp.
Gary, you look a little more swole, though.
Yeah?
Have you been lifting weights?
Check my weight, but...
Have you
nah,
been doing
not really.
More body weight exercises or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm all about that for the most part. I only do like heavy stuff with my legs for the most part. Everything else is pretty much body weight.
And you haven't done anything
And then
different?
lifting butt cheeks and...
That's right. There's
Well, he
other
has
people's
been-
body weights being lifted for sure.
He has been slaying, so maybe that contributes to your arms looking swole.
I mean,
Definitely helps. Definitely helps.
homeboy's in Puerto Rico. He better be slaying.
It's good for finger strength as well as, a lot of bicep action, hip pop-ups,
Oh, yeah. The Swole Patrol. Whoop, 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 whoop. Chris, I thought you were drinking wine.
I got a little bit of wine too.
So you're drinking wine and beer at the same time?
No, this is seltzer.
I just had one of
I
those.
thought that was like a Heineken.
Double fisting on a Monday night. That's fucking cool.
Did something happen, Chris? Did your
Going
fight
through some things,
fall?
guys. Don't worry about it. I'm going through some things.
Did your fight fall through?
It actually got pushed back. We're looking at August now.
Ah,
Yeah, I know.
Jesus, I feel for you, man.
My brother called me the other day. He's like, "How you doing with all this bullshit getting pushed back?" I'm like, "Listen, man, it is what it is. When it happens, but I don't want to slow down at all. I want to keep training the way I'm training. I feel good. I'm sparring a ton. I feel sharper now than I have in years. So I just want to keep it going, and hopefully I don't get hurt."
I was gonna say, unless you get injured.
Yeah, that's really the big concern at this point. So we're just dialing back and everything else. But I want to spar. I want to keep sparring. I like what I've been doing. So.
What's your theory on like the type of sparring that because you guys go hard? What's the frequency first of all of your sparring?
At this point, I'm sparring twice a week. Like I did 16 rounds last week. I did eight in a row, Tuesday and Thursday.
And are you concerned of like any future CT sparring, like going hard twice a week for several years?
I definitely have it. Yeah, we all do. If you've been hitting your head, you have CTE. But
you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I mean I'm not, because even though the sparring is hard, I'm still defensively sound and my reactions are great, so I don't worry about it.
Are you saying you don't get touched?
I'm saying I don't get hit that hard or that often. That's for sure.
Can't be touched.
Ah, shit.
Come on. Please
Can't be
believe me.
moved.
Ah, shit.
Can't be shook.
I've been a professional fighter for 18 years. I have 47 pro fights.
Gary,
Yeah.
how about yourself?
Are you asking me the same question that you asked Chris?
Yeah. Are you concerned?
Yeah, for sure, man. And I think everybody that does striking martial art, any type of like fighting, should be concerned with some level of brain damage. I mean, really, not just anybody. I mean, anybody taking fucking hits to the head, dude, or like, huge impacts to the body, like in football too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's got to be a concern. It's something that you should try to mitigate as much as possible while still, getting better. Like you can't. I feel like if you mitigate it completely, it's like, all right, well, I'm never gonna spar. It's like, all right, well, you're probably gonna have much harsher fights. Like you're probably gonna hit a lot more because you're not used to it. You're not used to it, So, I think that what Chris said is super, super important. That's a huge part of it. Is like, man, just really have a good, highly developed defense. So like, even when you're not the guy that's fucking hammering and you're taking shots, like you're not taking as much damage when you do get hit, and you're not getting hit as often. And that's a super important part of the game. And when I first started like doing all of this and striking, that was the primary emphasis. Was like, hey, how are we going to stay safe from punches? Like that was what we worked on primarily, and it's still a huge part of what we do. But that was like the first year.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I would imagine jiu-jitsu is the same way. Like, you got to learn how to defend. You can't be getting tapped out, left and right if you are constantly just being offensive minded.
It's weird because there's like kind of like a certain point people hit where it changes. Like when you're like a high level jiu-jitsu athlete, like somebody, once they start approaching like high level purple belt, high level brown belt, if they're like competing on the world stage and they don't have like a big team, like a lot of guys that are in the room tapping them and shit, like they end up doing the majority of their training with guys that are lesser than them, and they end up working on offense a lot more just by nature, right? Because they're not put in those bad positions naturally anymore.
So it's pretty similar to boxing. Like we get tough guys in because you need to work on the defense. You're not bringing in tough guys so you go to war. You bring in tough guys because they're going to bring something new, a different fold that you have to know how to defend against. Sure.
I think in jiu-jitsu a lot of guys fail to do that. I think there's a large percentage of the higher level guys that do just kind of have like whatever their offensive movements are, and they kind of have a good general sense of how to prevent shit from happening. Like they have a good general sense of like, hey, like I can do this, this, and this, and I'm not going to get like the chances of me getting put in an arm bar is really, really low. But a lot of guys don't have really good answers when they get put in like real bad positions, like when shit really hits the fan, because they aren't really practicing it every day. It's something that I do for sure, though.
Yeah,
sorry.
Gordon addressed that in the Joe Rogan podcast. He said, I guess Joe was asking what's the difference, or what the Danaher Death Squad is doing different than other teams, and he was talking about doing drills starting at compromising positions.
Yeah, I remember that. And first of all, that was a great podcast with Gordon and Joe. But that part was pretty interesting. He talking about that's the difference with the group. They will start in bad positions and work their way out and work their way kind of backward, which is apparently what separates you guys from everybody else.
Sure. Yeah, and I'm sure you guys do similar things. Like, it's not exactly the same when you would do it in boxing, but I'm sure you guys do limited sparring where, like, you only have certain weapons, or, like, you're supposed to use particular tools or whatever the case may be, I'm sure you guys do drills and shit like that. It's a similar idea.
Sure. Initially, when I first started doing, when I first kind of transitioned, we did a lot of work where, like, I would have rounds where I just used my jab. I would just use my left hand, my left jab. We also did rounds where we fought with no headgear. Like we put on small fight gloves, like 8 or 10 ounce gloves, and just touch fight and just get used to that extra protection when you don't get hit behind your ear, to make sure that those little gloves are in the right place, and being able to see that range before my pro debut. But even now, like I'll do rounds of sparring where I will do literally no offense whatsoever. I will just be defensive, changing levels, getting in range, finding my rhythm, moving around. It annoys the fuck out of my sparring partners, but I don't care. I'm finding my things out.
Sometimes I start out and just use my feet,
mm-hmm.
and then sometimes I like to mix it up and do like my right hand and then my left feet. And that's it. That's all I'll use.
Does your boyfriend is that cool for him? Is he alright with the feet thing?
You guys need to take me more serious.
I didn't realize that you guys did the feet thing. That's cool, though.
Yeah.
Gary,
if you don't worry, Chris. If you weren't gonna nail him with something, I was gonna nail him with something. There's
Gary
no way
was like
you were gonna let him get away with that.
Gary was like processing it. Like, what is he saying right now?
Gary was like, "Is this motherfucker serious?"
Yeah. Right. Gary, do you feel like have you feel like anything has evolved exponentially over there since moving to PR?
Hip thrust mostly, but yeah.
Besides your fucking
his libido.
Besides all that fucking you doing?
Anything been evolving? We're always kind of getting better at stuff, but I would say when we first got here, we were doing a lot of leg lock entries from a backside position. So like when somebody's facing away from you, and that was a pretty highly developed part of our game that we worked on for like several months, and now we're kind of back on the kind of like wrestle, or sorry, I should say like what does John call it again? I'm fucking completely forgetting.
Wall,
He calls it like
wall wrestling.
scrimmage wrestling. Yeah, so we're back on the scrimmage wrestling game. So we do like a lot of different rounds and different techniques from positions where guys are trying to stand up on us, or we're putting somebody down, and then as they turn away to try to not get taken down, we take it back, and we have like a kind of a series of techniques that we work on, for people's defensive reactions when you go in for the takedown. So that's like probably the most developed skill that we're working on right now. But were you talking about it in relation to PR, or you just mean in general, like since we've been here, what have we been working on?
No, I was just trying to see if since moving to PR, you've noticed like something within your game has like exponentially gotten better.
Yeah, those two things for jiu-jitsu. For MMA, I'm trying to think, like, we've been very specific with our training recently, comparative to usual. Like, I've been much more focused on like the stuff that Thon Lee does and preparing for that. So I'd say I got a lot better at keeping my. I know this sounds so simple and like retarded when I say this, but I mean it is something you have to make a concerted effort to do, especially if it doesn't come. I'm losing you guys a little bit.
You're good though. We can hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, all right, fair enough. I don't know what Chris just said though.
I said you were saying that it was going to be something stupid, and I said I guarantee it's not, because the simplest stuff is really what matters.
No, he said it probably is going to be stupid. He said it probably is.
He said you're a fucking retard. So I've been getting a lot better at keeping my rear hand up during like my offense. Like, so it's always something that you're told. It's always something that you're told to do. But the thing is the guy that I'm fighting next, or most likely I'll fight next, has a really good rear leg high kick and a really good rear hand. It's like his two main offensive weapons. And like particularly the rear leg high kick, like if I'm not doing a good job while I'm doing everything that it is that I'm doing, trying to set up takedowns and land strikes, if I'm not doing a good job keeping that rear hand high, like I'm gonna get clipped with one of these high kicks. And like it's not very forgiving.
Yeah, and like you're saying, like, oh, that might be stupid, like keeping my rear hand up. Like, yeah, I'm supposed to, but listen, that's what Michael Chandler lost his fight on. He didn't have his right hand up. Sure. Oliveira, dude. I mean, we're probably gonna talk about that later on, but dude, Charles Oliveira is a fucking beast. He boxed so well. His hand position when he threw that left hook, that counter left hook, that drop Mike was perfect. Literally, he just punched in between everything Mike was doing. Mike punches really wide, and his hands tend to travel into places where they're more offensive than defensive. And Oliveira just kept everything tight. That counter left hook was super textbook. Left hand up, right hand up, short left hook, bang, and that's all it took. I mean, so Gary, keeping that right hand up or that rear hand up is exactly what's necessary.
What would you have if you were Michael Chandler, Gary? What would you have done different?
Knocked out viciously.
Good start.
Good start. I want to know if you're thinking the same thing that I thought.
All right. So it's hard. How much of Michael Chandler am I? Like, am I literally Michael Chandler and I only have the tools Michael Chandler has?
Yeah. You saw exactly what went down. Like, if you were him and you saw the fight playing out, what would you have done different?
So Gary, you're you, not Mike. I mean,
okay,
you're Mike.
It's an important question, because if you're telling me I only have the tools that Michael Chandler has, it's a little different than asking me what I do in that area. You
would have probably submitted him in the first round.
So right. So you're Mike. You're Mike, not you. My bad. You're Mike, not you.
Yeah, man. Given the tools that he has, that he possesses, if I would have just made like more strategic commentary, I think I probably would have been a little bit less. I obviously, like, his power is a facet of his game for sure, but I probably would have been a little less anxious to get that going, like, as quickly as possible, and kind of eased my way into backing Oliveira up towards the fence, and then started to unleash some flurries or something like that. Put him into a bad position before I decided to like blitz forward as hard as I fucking could. And
that's where he had Oliveira in trouble in the first round. He did have him against the cage, And it, it's funny. I trained with Mike down at over down here in Sanford and HK, and Mike trained for 5 rounds.
Yeah.
I think he just got a little, like you said, I think he got a little too anxious early on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's so used to blitzing guys in the beginning and catching them.
Yeah.
Sure.
He is. So that's like his style, balls to the walls.
But he's got a gas
That's why
tank
it's
too,
hard to
though.
make a real critic.
He's not like a one and done type guy.
I think he was just like I think he was just excited from his first victory, and he just wanted to repeat it.
Yeah. Understandable.
Plus, he was fighting for that belt. It would have been sweet. To be honest, I think that if he instead of like jumping into Oliveira's guard, if he would have backed up and let the referee stand him up, I think he would have had that fight. Because when Oliveira went down, he was dazed.
Mm-hmm.
He had clipped him. In the
Yeah, he got
first
clipped
round.
behind the ear.
Yeah. But he decided to go into his guard and try to ground and pound, but Oliveira did a great job like neutralizing.
Oliveira did something I've never seen before. He did head movement like on the ground. Like his head was on the ground. He was like keep moving his head on. I was like, wow, that's.
He was good.
Oliveira's
I'm very impressed.
I was super impressed when he beat it wasn't Ferguson. It was the fight before that when he beat
Who did he beat?
oh man, Rogan loves him. He's been on Rogan a few times. Mixed kid. He was training in Canada a little bit. Oh shit! Why am I? He knocked out Gregor Gillespie with the head kick.
Oh yeah.
Kevin Lee.
Kevin Lee. Yeah, Kevin Lee. When Oliveira beat Kevin Lee, it was such a dominant performance from every position. I was like, holy shit, this guy's a really good all-around fighter.
Yeah. And Kevin Lee's fucking tough, man.
Kevin Lee's fucking tough, and he's an awesome striker, and he's super strong. And Oliveira was able to completely neutralize him.
Dude, Kevin Lee came to the Dominican Republic by himself during the lockdown, when there was like curfew, and this guy I don't think he knew anything about the country. He rented a car, and I was following his stories, and everything that he was doing is I sent him a DM. I don't know him. He didn't see the DM, but I wanted to give him some kind of advice on what not to do, dude. He got the cops he gave him a shakedown 2 or 3 times, and he was narrating this they just took $500 from me or $1,000.
I think I saw this, yeah.
Dude, and he's like, and now I'm having dinner with the cops, eating a plate of the most expensive spaghetti that I've eaten in my life. Dude, he was buying weed off this really bad ghetto. He was just making all the wrong moves, man, and going to all the wrong places as well. He was looking for a beach, and he went to one of the worst beaches here. Having
he was completely by himself.
Rent a car by himself, dude. Just fucking narrating that shit on his Instagram
is he nuts?
stories.
Is he just nuts? He's just a crazy person?
He seemed pretty nuts. He was just fucking smoke. He was smoking weed while driving, which is 100% illegal here. They don't fuck around over here. And he was like,
but it is just time out for a second. It is 100% legal there to drink and drive, though. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but not,
they do fuck around there a little bit.
Yes, yeah. But listen, you stick out like a sore thumb if there's curfew and there's no cars out.
Sure.
Good point. That's a good point.
And
there's billows of smoke coming out of your window.
Right.
It's so crazy that there's you guys had an actually enforced people curfew. It's one thing to have a business curfew, you guys legitimately had cops stopping people for being out past a certain hour. That's 100%, so crazy.
And they take you to jail.
I don't think I've ever experienced that anywhere yet.
Dude, it's it's surreal. It's surreal. It's
that would be a level of government intervention I'd be very, very uncomfortable with.
I couldn't do it. I would freak out constantly. I go to jail.
I went out a couple of times and had to I saw the cops. What do you call that? Obstructing the
a barricade on the street. Yeah.
Barricading, right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, barricading the street, and I had to during one of the highways, I had to hit reverse and go on to another street, a smaller street where I knew that the cops weren't going to be there because they were on the main roads.
Wow.
So I had to figure my way back home through little Middle roads.
Listen, I got into a fight at my fucking gated community in South Florida over the pool being closed early. I couldn't imagine if there was actual like, things I had to deal with. Like they told me I couldn't be outside. I'd be in jail, 100%.
Chris turned into a Karen.
I get into fights at my fucking complex all the time because they try to kick people out of the pool and fucking they give me all kinds of fucking problems. I'm never living in a community ever again.
No,
I can't do it.
So that was this pandemic has taught me I need to have a house. Like I'm moving out of here.
Yeah.
But listen to what my my fix to this whole problem was, my remedy. So I'm writing these berating emails to the association over and over again. Like every time I go to the pool and they kick me out, I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. Email. And then finally I give them my bright green Speedo. They send an official letter like of why the pool is closed, whatever. I write back within 30 minutes of that letter going out. I write this big long thing. There's literally links to scientific journals. You know, vitamin D, how it fights COVID, how COVID does not transmit through water, how being outside, how masks, all these different things. And they're like, you should speak to the board of directors because that you need to talk to them. So then I had a meeting.
Chris, fighting the system.
Then I had a meeting with them. So long story short, I am now the head of the committee of the pool. So I have access to the pool whenever I want.
I love the level of petty that he got to where he literally was like, you know what? I'm getting involved in the government of my fucking complex so that I could get this done. That's fucking amazing. God bless you.
Chris
They were like,
the mayor of Pool Town.
I walked up. I was very nice. I was so mad. I was telling my nephew, I was telling my coaches, I'm so pissed about this fucking pool thing. I just hope I keep it cool. I go to this meeting. I'm super nice about it. I'm smiling. They're like, Chris, we thank you so much for being like so nice about this. Like normally everyone just curses at us and say, you work for us. We pay all this money. Like the fact that we're actually having a conversation, you're smiling is a really good. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm an answer man. How do I fix this? How do we make this possible? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, what if we do some kind of like sign-in sheet, all these different things? And they were like, well, I'm like, what if we have like someone who's appointed to like have access to the pool? They're like, yeah, I mean, would you want to do that? And I was like, sure.
Sure, why not?
They're like, why don't you head a committee for the pool, send out an email, get this going. I'm like, yeah, this is a good idea. I'm as long as I have access to the pool, I don't give a shit.
Dude, Chris is going to make a badge. He's going to be the pool sheriff. He's gonna have like bouncers letting people in with a velvet
straw
rope.
hat, green Speedo, badge right on the chest. Not even a shirt, right on the chest.
I want 3 different size whistles. Too.
all worn at the same time.
Oh my god!
I was just watching The Other Guys again the other day, where they take away his gun and they're like, here's a ring.
The wood gun, the wooden gun, the whistle.
Blow it, and somebody else that's more qualified will come help you.
That movie's awesome, man.
That movie's fantastic.
Gary.
Yeah.
You got a new whip.
I did, man. Yeah. So I still have the Range Rover sitting in Jersey, and I'm just kind of keeping it there because I travel there enough that I feel like I don't want to not have a car there. Like I could have transported it to PR. First of all, that's a fucking headache.
You
and
don't
I'm
want
just
to do
all
that.
about what's that?
You don't want to do that.
No.
Wait, what do you have? What do you have in Jersey?
A Range Rover, like a sport. What the fuck is it called? It's.
Yeah, Range Rover Sport.
And you own that? You own that flat out?
No, I think there's still like $20K on it or something left to pay off.
Oh, but it's not like a lease, like.
Not a lease. It's financed. I don't know if I was going to transport it to Puerto Rico. I don't know if I would have to pay it off completely or not because I know they kind of have that rule here sometimes. So I don't know, but either way, it wouldn't have been an issue. But I just know it's a headache. Like you have to pay a bunch of money to transport cars, and like not only do you have to pay a bunch of money, like that's obvious. Like you got to pay money to fucking transport a car, but there's like taxes involved, and there's like a fee associated with the price of the car. So it's like not even really fair, right? Like it's like you're kind of fucking with us now when you're starting to charge based off of the supposed price of the car. Right?
Oh, the Kelly Blue Book is this? Well, then you got to pay us that.
Yeah, because like let's be honest, it doesn't take any more effort to transport the car. It makes no fucking sense.
It's based entirely on your income.
Yeah. So they charge that. Oh, and also by the way, what you just said about Kelly Blue Book, it doesn't even go based off Kelly Blue Book. They get to make up whatever number they want.
Oh, fuck off.
Like
That's
Gordon
bullshit.
transported one of his cars, and he's like, the Kelly Blue Book value is this. They're like, yeah, we don't care. We think it costs this much.
Oh,
Gotcha, bitch.
fuck.
So I didn't want to get involved with any of that, and I still want my car in Jersey. So I left that one there. I was renting cars because I'm a lazy fuck, and I just didn't want to put the effort in to like go into a dealer. I was trying to get an El Camino for the longest time.
Yeah.
The guy that, what's
I
that?
can't believe you didn't get that.
Dude,
That
the
was gonna
guy
be
that's
the pussy
selling it,
wagon.
fucking idiot. Like, I got a cashier's check for $7,000, and I was gonna give him the cashier's check, and then he would have to, transfer the title over and everything. He's like, oh, we gotta wait till the check clears. I'm like, no, you don't understand. A cashier's check is like me handing you a bag of cash right now, And he's like, no, we're gonna wait till the check clears. I'm like, I'm not giving you money and not having you sign over the title, dude. It's not fucking happening.
Right.
So. Yeah, that got thrown out, and then I kept renting cars, dude. Last month I spent $5,000 on a car.
You rent a car?
Yeah, it
That's-
just keeps getting more and more expensive
Gary,
because there's so
what
much
the fuck's going
tourism
on
here.
with you, man?
So I was like, fuck this. I am not renting a car again. I'm just gonna buy something. So spur of the moment, I was just looking. I looked for like 2 days, and I was like, all right, Jeep Wrangler, let's do this 4-door.
All right.
And it worked out, man. I like the car. I think it's good for Puerto Rico. A ton of potholes and shit out here, so it's great. Oh, and dude, this is my first experience with one of these. So I folded down the fucking back seats, and the fold works in such a way. Like a lot of cars, like they kind of have, when you fold the seats, it kind of like it's okay. Like it kind of gives you some more
What the
space.
fuck is
It's
that?
not perfect. I have no idea. What's that sound?
Oh, I got Alien Resurrection on TV. Hold on a second.
Oh.
It's like fucking blasting in the
That's
background.
amazing. That's amazing. I love Alien.
Was that really specific and weird?
I love it. Alien's a fucking great series, dude.
I put on Alien 3 while I was doing bike sprints, and it just rolled into the next one. I'm like, I guess I'm watching Alien all day.
Fuck. All right. So where were we at? So
Sorry.
So some cars, like when you fold down the back seats, it gives you some extra room, but it's kind of like shitty and uneven. Dude, the Jeeps, when you roll the fucking front seats forward and you flatten out the back seats and everything, man, like, dude, you have a legit like bed back there, basically.
Uh-oh.
So what I'm gonna do, I was just thinking this to myself. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fucking get like a mattress topper and just razor blade that shit to fit perfect the outline of the Jeep, and then that is gonna be the shaggin' wagon from now on, man.
I like where this is going.
You take the fucking top off. You're looking at the stars out in
Oh,
fucking Puerto
shit.
Rico. Woof.
You head on to the beach and
Hell
you
yeah, man.
blast.
Got an idea. I mean, technology on cameras is getting really good.
Okay.
Get a little corner digital camera,
Yeah.
Webcam for the boys? Webcam for the boys?
a webcam.
Webcam for
webcam
the
action.
boys?
Put it on your OnlyFans.
That's good. It's good.
Have a waiver, sign off.
Well,
Yes.
well, I'll join Fake Taxi, and
Bro.
we have a good.
Gary
extra
T's Puerto Rican bang boss.
Extra income right there.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm an idea guy.
Dude,
A lot of possibilities.
it's not a bad idea.
Definitely
Not
a good
bad
business venture.
How come you're going to Texas?
Oh,
hey,
a bunch of the guys are competing. Nikki's competing. Nikki Rod. I think Craig. I'm not 100% sure if that's all. I think maybe Taza too. Gordon was originally going to compete, but he pulled out. But yeah, man, a lot of the
I saw
guys
that. He's all
are out
fucked
there.
up, right? Again?
Gordon retired.
Yeah, man, it sucks, man. But
Wait,
it's
retired?
something he's been dealing with a long time. He's the stomach issues. I think I told you guys about it, and he told you guys about it the last time he was on the podcast. He's been dealing with that shit for like 3 years, and like it's been bad, man. Like he tries to put on a good face, like he hides a lot of his shit, and I've seen him at training, man. And sometimes during drilling sessions, he's just got to fucking get up and throw up, and like not even doing anything too intense. And as it gets more intense, it gets worse and worse. So like the higher the output, like the more the stomach bothers him, right? So yeah, I totally get it. I think this will get. I don't think like retire. It's like I don't think he'll be out of the sport forever. I think this is going to give him some time to figure out whatever fucking medical issue he has. or, you know, whatever. Maybe it's going to take a couple years for it to fucking subside on its own, you know? Like, I can't make any guarantees, but he's young as fuck. Like, he's like
I was gonna say
25
he's
years
super
old.
young. He's super young.
Yeah,
so.
like, dude, there's so much time. Like, the idea that, like, he's not going to be able to find some sort of solution at some point to this and be able to get back to the sport, I don't think is realistic. You never know, but I do know that he's been having a really tough time for a long time with it, so.
Dude, my 30-year-old body was entirely different than my 25-year-old body. Like, it's in every way possible. So
Sure.
How about
there's time.
How about now with your
My 37-year-old body?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, this is the best body I've ever had.
Oh shit! I did not expect you to go there.
Bro, libido is way too high. And
So you at 37 are hitting your prime?
yeah, looks like it. I mean, and honestly, from an injury standpoint, I'm healthier than I've been in a long time, and I feel fucking great. So, I got some gray hairs, but I just do the high fade. You can't see them.
Chris has got a solution for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, man.
I was gonna ask Garry. I remember that during the Joe Rogan podcast, he mentioned they were talking about Gordon's stomach problems.
Yeah.
And Joe was calling out to anybody that could help him. Has anybody reached out with?
Dude, he gets
trying
reached
to
out
help?
to so many fucking people. Like, people are reaching out to me and, like, everybody on the team. Like, everybody gets DMs now on a daily, like, hey, fucking send this to Gordon. So, you know, the tough part is, like, it's kind of like the way
But
that
I'm talking
social
about
media-
an actual
No, I hear
doctor
you.
reaching out.
I understand. I'm just saying, like, it's kind of like the same way that, like, when you look something up on Google, you could get, like, a million different search results, and you got to really know what you're doing to figure out, like what's reputable. It's almost like because it's getting put out to the world, there's so many people yelling. It's like, all right, well, now we got to go through this list and figure out, like, who's actually knows what the fuck they're talking about and can actually help him, you know?
I can't imagine. He's got 10 times the followers I have, and I can't even come close to keeping up with what I get.
Yeah.
So
What about
I
you?
also
Someone's figured it
don't
out.
respond to anything. So
How many nudes do you guys get per week?
Per week?
depends on the
Yeah.
week, but pretty solid. Males and
Different-
females. I don't know about you.
different-
I got a lot of dudes.
Yeah, for sure, man. The dude following is like a lot of people.
Okay.
Like, don't get me
This gets a lot
wrong.
of dick pics.
There's
lot of-
definitely chicks, but like the primary fucking in my inbox is fucking. Let's put it this way: in my breakdown, in my whatever the fuck you call it, your shit on your Instagram, when they show you the percentages and stuff, I don't know, what do you call that? There's like a name for it,
Your gender breakdown or
something like that. But anyway, in those statistics, I'm like 92% men, 8% women.
oh wow,
So yeah.
I'm in the
So-
80s. But
Yeah?
yeah.
That's impressive. Good for
Yeah.
you, dude.
I'm like 80.
great.
I think 84% men. I thought that was like
Nice.
too many men.
Yeah, dude. I'm way up there. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm sure you're the same way. Like when I go to fights or I go anywhere public, it's like the man crushers are way worse than the girls. The
You
girls-
just
the
gotta
girls-
try your best to leverage it so that the man crushes happen in front of chicks. So that they're some dude's fawning over you, like, oh, you're fucking the best fighter ever.
I'm
And
just
then-
famous. You know.
I just let the girls watch the guy blow me, and that usually it's like a home run. Like the girl never leaves me alone.
Oh man.
You guys are
Amazing.
dealing with some freaks.
Absolutely amazing.
Gary.
You just start yelling really loud. You're like, yeah, man, things have been going really great, except for my ex broke up with me because I have such a fucking huge cock. She said it's too big, and
You said you couldn't handle the
she said
girth.
I made way too much money last year, and it's like really making her feel embarrassed, and like, you know, she can't handle it. She said I'm way too famous.
Gary, you're playing the numbers game in your stories, shooting your shot with like so many chicks, like
Uh-huh.
reposting.
Uh-huh.
Are
would
you
you
getting
not?
results?
Well,
Are
so
you getting?
first of all, I just do that because they're the same images that I would just hit like on a day-to-day basis, and it's like, well, hey, if I fucking like them, my 92% of male following will like these fucking photos
Yes,
also.
but you are not a regular dude. You have
Sure. True.
You have a blue check mark, and you have
This is true.
hundreds of thousands of followers, and you're giving them clout, and that nowadays is worth money.
It's funny that you say that, because I actually had somebody, I won't mention their name, reach out to me, and he goes, "Hey man, I hope like these girls are paying you for like shouting them out." And I was like, honestly,
It was me,
man,
guys. And for people at home, it was me.
and I was like, honestly, man, no, like, I mean, it's just like a fun thing for me. It is what it is. Like, I don't really fucking care. But he's like, man, he's like, they should be. He's like, I fucking manage chicks like OnlyFans. Like, that's what I do for a living. And like, this is like really good, like attention for them, I mean, I'd be open to the idea, if somebody wants to fucking contact me and be like, hey, repost me on your stories X amount of times for X amount of money, I'm in, but other than that, I'm just doing this for fun,
Anyone listening, contact Chris at chrisalgieri.com. We can figure this out. We can work it out. Again, it was me that was talking to him. So
Garry, that's not what I was asking. I was asking if you were getting, like, if any of those chicks, like, wanted to throw some pussy at you.
It's definitely opened the doors to like conversation sometimes, like the same way, like, so this is a relevant topic. Like, let's talk about this for a second, because I don't think we've talked about it on this podcast. I've talked about it on other podcasts before. There's definitely like the same way that there's ways to work Tinder or any other dating app, like there's ways to leverage Instagram to the best of your ability in your favor. And like, let's talk about that for a second. So first of all, one of them, as far as like DMs is concerned, sometimes like it's a little weird to just DM somebody you don't know, like completely out of the blue, right? Like you just, hey, how are you? It's like a hot chick gets a million of those a day, it's like it gets a little weird. So one way to like lightly put your foot in the door is just like you react to one of her stories, right? So it shows up as a DM, it already starts like a message, but you're not like really creeping on this chick. It gives like a little feeler, all right, I do fucking hard eyes at some photo or fucking like a smile or a laugh. I think that the best way, probably the most dip your toe in the water way, would probably be like laughing at something funny that she put in her stories. Would probably make the most sense. And then it's like, all right, well, that can't be perceived as me hitting on her at all, because I'm just laughing at something that she found funny, right?
This is diabolical.
For sure. Like, this is...
Chris doesn't understand what's going on. He
he's
usually
just
goes
lost.
for the
I'm like,
first thing
wait,
that
you don't lead with a dick pic?
He's just sending us meat every time.
He's like, whoops. Look at my birdie. Look at my baby bird over here.
Listen,
Whoops.
all the Pakistani
So I'm
ghee
wearing
manufacturers that are reaching out to me, you guys need to listen up to this advice, because you guys are doing it wrong. So there's, like, that's definitely a way, like me sharing somebody's story. So here it's tricky, right? Because I've set myself up in a very, very particular place. If the average dude just shares a chick's bikini photo on his story, it might be perceived as weird, right? But me, not just because of who I am, but because I do that all day, every day, and there's fucking 20 of them on my story, they see that I shared it, and they're like, oh yeah, well, this is just what he does. It's not like an abnormal thing. It's just like, oh yeah, he appreciates hot chicks. He's posting a bunch of them to his story. It is what it is. I think if you just like did that as an advance on a singular person, that would be perceived as weird probably. If you don't normally do that.
You're using diversion. I like it. It's like it's a bait and
Also-
switch. It's all good.
Also, because of me the way that I'm doing this, it's hard to get criticism from somebody that I would be potentially dating. Because it's like, hey, you walked into this at this level. I'm already posting other chicks' photos and stuff like that. I'm never going to – somebody who would get upset with me, like, liking a girl's photo wouldn't even start talking to me. So all of them are filtered out. Like, they're not even – or if they're filtered in, they still understand, like, what they're getting into, ahead of time. I almost related a little bit to, like – and this is probably a bad draw here, but Donald Trump was so fucking vulgar and crazy all the time that it's like when a new scandal comes out that he did something, it's almost meaningless because he just does the same shit. If you're politically incorrect all day, every day, it's not a big shocker when you're fucking politically incorrect again, right? It's when you're trying to put together this clean, crystal clear-cut persona and then you slip. That's when people fucking get you.
That's how you started, Garry.
Do you guys
You wanted to be clean and cookie cutter.
You guys both watch The Simpsons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Do you remember Mr. Burns?
Yeah,
Of course.
Okay, so there was that one episode where he had every disease possible, and they were all trying. They made like an analogy. They're like all the diseases are trying to get out the door at the same time, and they all got stuck. Like he has every disease imaginable, but like they couldn't react. They couldn't kill him because like they were all trying to get out at the same time. It's kind of like that. It's like you just throw so much shit at the wall that none of it can see. Oh, the wall's shit. Okay, you just lose it all.
Painted in shit.
It's all painted in shit.
Sure.
Great.
And then at a certain point, it's also just like an accepted part of my persona. It's like, oh yeah, well that's like his social media persona. This is what he does. Cash Chicks Championships, butts everywhere. Like, so it just becomes very natural. I've set myself up. Like that's something that I think people really fail. And this is like not just social media, like trying to hook up with chicks information, but this is just like information in general. So many people fail to set like solid boundaries and markers. Like when they're getting into, they're like, oh yeah, like she got mad when I liked a photo, like, so I'm just gonna apologize for it. It's like, no, dude, take a fucking stand right now because it's gonna get worse. You're never gonna get more slack. It's gonna be constantly taken away from you.
All the ground that women get, they never give up. All the ground that women get, they never give up.
For sure.
Anything you give up is gone.
Yeah. So that's definitely something worth talking about. There's a lot more strategy involved. I have a lot of other tricks. You know, you can buy my DVD.
Gary breaks the DMs down like a jiu-jitsu match.
Fucking brilliant. I'm smash and grab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of science.
You barge in with a dick pic,
just post,
blow the fucking hinges off that shit.
I post a selfie of me or a video of me shadowboxing my shirt off and then to just wait for it. So
I got something for some of the people that are not at the Chris Algieri level, okay? So if you're not at the Chris Algieri level, but you're a boxer, okay, on any level, doesn't matter, even if you're on like a Logan Paul level, all right? So you're any type of boxer,
Big level.
And what you do is you fucking follow Chris Algieri, first of all. Let's make sure that we do that.
That's a good start.
Number one thing.
Very good. Copy everything he does.
And that same photo, okay, where Chris Algieri has his fucking shirt off, and you look in the comments and you see 84 different chicks commenting heart eye emojis. You follow those fucking chicks. They like hot, fit boxers, dude. Maybe they don't get a piece of Chris. Maybe Chris is too busy to tap that, okay? Maybe she'll be a little tipsy one night and she'll be like, this guy boxes and he's got his shirt off too. Like, why not? You know? So
or maybe Chris already did them wrong.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. You could be
Chris didn't answer the DM. He didn't respond. He left. There's a lot of opportunity.
There's a lot of opportunity there for you. You understand that is in your group. Like that is within your sector. Like clearly this person is interested in that. You know what I mean?
I fully endorse this because I want all of you guys to get laid. Like all of our listeners, and ladies
Garry.
too. I want all of our lady listeners, all 3.5 of you. I want you guys to get banged out. You know, so.
Gary, that was actually really good advice.
Yes.
Solid. Very solid.
So important. Follow those chicks, like their photos, do whatever, but they're in your group.
That's an ebook, right? We can
Solid.
They're in your your ecosystem, if you will. You know what I mean?
Podcast ebook.
And you can
score on social media.
And you can take that and you can span out. Like you can go even further. Like, all right, you're a boxer, you're following a boxer, you do that. That's probably that's a very specific niche, but you could go even farther than that. Like you might even be able to follow me, for example, see a shirtless photo of me, do the same thing. It's like that chick's into martial artists. She might dig a boxer, like you know what I mean? Like you don't know.
Garry Tonon.
Then it stems into fitness, yoga, fucking CrossFit, whatever. You know what I mean?
And
There's a lot of opportunities here.
You know what the factor that really matters is going to bring it all together, the glue? Coffee. Everyone loves coffee.
That's right.
And then you go to Chimera Coffee.
Chimera Coffee moment.
Oh, wait a second. Chimera Coffee posts shirtless pictures.
This is the most subtle plugging we've ever done.
Yeah, we're getting good at this. We should probably get sponsors. And do podcast.
We just got dropped by OnlyFans because we were too raunchy.
Makes sense.
We were too controversial for OnlyFans.
We're gonna have to go to Pornhub now. That's our next. We're gonna start doing commercials for Pornhub.
Did you Did you guys see Logan Paul boxing all 4 Gronk brothers?
No.
No.
That's a great fucking plug. Good for him.
Yeah. It's in his
That
YouTube
kid's a
channel.
master at this shit. He really is.
Yeah, dude, they're really good at that. Like Jake and Logan are really good at that. But these guys, the Gronk brothers, are obviously like they don't box. They're like novice.
Neither does Logan Paul.
Yeah.
He's also
but
novice.
he's actually like moved to Puerto Rico and is trying to take this seriously, right?
No, he's not. He's fucking terrible.
He's worse than his brother.
Way worse. Jake's actually good. Logan's terrible.
You know what? And he has some tendencies that I see that could go really bad for him when he fights Mayweather.
This is embarrassing.
Ouch.
The funny thing is that all you idiot YouTube people don't understand that this is fake. Like, you're thinking he's doing something. This is so fucking fake. It's ridiculous.
Is he fucking with you?
That guy's not trying to punch at him
I know,
at
but
all.
he can't really do that though, right? Like, who does that?
Actually, that's he's reenacting Muhammad Ali.
Oh, okay.
And which, these YouTubers don't understand that either. But that guy's not trying to hit him.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Because
But yeah,
I'm mad I just talked about him.
his hands were down, and he has like his head movement was kind of off. It was herky jerky.
Wait, where's the? I don't see the thing with the Gronk brothers. Where?
YouTube
He's
is in Logan Paul's channel.
Never mind.
Yeah, because it's like 4 minutes, 5 minutes long, maybe a little bit more. Gary, do you have a fight date?
Nah, it just keeps getting pushed back. I'm hoping for maybe August now.
We're in the post-pandemic world. Everything gets pushed back. We just
They
live in
just canceled an event, actually. They had like an all-women's card, and I think they pushed back that event.
Oh, thank God.
So they must. They're in addition to my opponent having trouble, I think they're having trouble also. I'm not sure what happened with that.
Yeah, because I see that Vitor was gonna fight, and now he's like not fighting. He actually he's gonna
Has he
do
fought
boxing.
for them yet?
No,
No,
he's
this will be his
been
first.
he's been signed for like over a year now.
He's been in the gym with me.
Whoa, dude.
Yeah?
He hasn't been signed for over a year. He's been signed for fucking years. with an S,
Yeah.
for sure. Dude,
That's
like
good.
Vitor signed like around the time that I like renegotiated my contract. He has to have been signed for at least 2 years, maybe more.
Wow, that's crazy. Chris, you guys train together?
Yeah. I was speaking to Vitor this morning. We were talking in the DM. He's awesome.
Is he like back on the
He looks
horse?
good. Honestly, he looks good. He's been in the gym training with my boxing coach, Derek Santos, down in Boca, and his hands look good. He wants to fight the Logan brothers.
Is he back on the
He doesn't look like it now.
he should.
Yeah, I agree. TRT Vitor is a fucking savage, but
It's a specimen of a man.
dude, even without it, like, he's such a fucking specimen. It's ridiculous. Like, wherever he's in his 40s now, he's still super strong and fast. I've held pads for him. He hits like a fucking mule kick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe you. You guys do anything cool this weekend?
I was in Vegas, but nothing really cool happened.
Nothing cool. Just in Vegas, for the weekend.
Just ringside for one of the best fights that happened. Actually, probably the best fight that's happened this year.
Which fight?
It was Josh Taylor versus Jose Ramirez for the unification at 140, super lightweight, all the belts, fucking 2 undefeated world champions. One of them had 2 belts, the other had 2 belts. They fought each other, all for the belts. Everything was on the line. Fucking fight was sick.
Did they like put on a performance?
Killed each other. It couldn't have been better. Could not have been better.
Dude, I was really excited for the Saunders and Canelo fight.
Yeah,
That was a sick fight.
I wasn't.
You weren't?
Nah,
You didn't like it?
I thought Canelo was gonna fuck him up. Because I did a lot of analysis for the fight because I was commentating. So I was like, I watched it and I was like, yeah, BJ just makes so many mistakes that are gonna play right into Canelo's hands, and exactly it did.
I thought he was doing a good job.
So this is one of the biggest arguments I get into with people online all the time is fights in person and fights on TV are completely different. Completely different. That fight wasn't close at all in person.
Yeah.
The power differential was so crazy. Canelo looked so goddamn strong from the opening bell, and Saunders literally had no power. And also, just with him rolling with the shots, even the punches that landed were so deflected. I mean, I gave Saunders 2 rounds.
Okay.
and I had to give him those rounds. Canelo was.
He's like turning it right back around.
Canelo's one of the best fighters I've ever seen.
He's fighting like in 2 months.
I mean, he just fought 2 months ago. I commentated his last 2 fights, and they were both this year. It's crazy.
That's
I
awesome.
think the biggest problem is I think that when people watch fights on TV, like they see, especially in boxing, I think this happens even more so than in MMA, because the distances are different. In boxing, you're so much more close range. I think
there's more strikes thrown and landed too.
Yeah, they're seeing like 8 punches get thrown at a person, and they can't understand that like those punches didn't really land cleanly. You know, especially when you're talking about a fighter like Canelo, who's like very evasive, right? Like he knows how to get out of the way of shit. You know, they see a fucking 6-punch combo, and they're like, yeah, that fucking guy hit him. You know, but it's like,
and you also you hear the do, you know, like,
yeah, it's like, well, no, not really. Like he literally did no damage with any strike that he just threw. So it's like none of that counts. Even though it looks like he's getting hit, it's like it doesn't really matter.
And people just don't understand body shots at all, and it's really hard to understand and feel body shots on TV. Like the shots that Canelo was landing were like, dude, they were thudding. Even the shots you block. The way Canelo throws a lot of those punches, like he whipped that right hand, and BJ was blocking them with his arm, but it was like you could see the reverberation through his entire body. It's like boom, like it hit him like a football player hitting him.
When the fight ended, and the fucking the orbital or his whole face was fucking broken.
Literally.
I thought that the fight ended because he broke his fucking ribs. Like I thought for sure his ribs were broken.
Bro, so I'm front row, right behind the judge, and I didn't see the uppercut, which broke the eye. But immediately after Canelo's being so goddamn good, bang, hits him with that uppercut, knows he hit him with something good, goes right back to the body. Boom, left hook to the liver, saw that punch, and then you saw BJ grab him, and they came to me like this, and I had Canelo's back to me, and I see BJ's head over Canelo's shoulder. He grabbed him literally like this with his gloves. He fucking monkey gripped him behind, and he blinks his eye and just breathed out like, and I was like, ooh, man, that body shot hurt. And then they broke up, and then I saw the eye start, and I was like, ooh, that's the eye. Yeah. Good call, Gary, because I said the same thing. I was like, well, it was a body shot. But nah, it was the fucking eye.
Why do you call him BJ?
BJ Saunders, Billy Joe.
Oh. I'm like, who the fuck is BJ?
Yeah, Saunders. He was a great fighter. He really is. He's a very, very good fighter. But Canelo's just a different level.
How do you see the other one going? What's his name? His next fight.
Caleb Plant?
Yeah.
Caleb Plant? Yeah. I don't think Caleb has anything for Canelo, honestly. It might be worse than...
Is there anyone that has anything for Canelo?
Benavidez is very good. And David Benavidez... David? Is that the older one? Yes. Jose is the younger one. David Benavidez, he throws a lot of punches. He's big. He's young. He has power. His conditioning is fantastic. He's super tall. He has a shot to give Canelo a lot of trouble. And then they're talking about Canelo at 175. Bivol, I don't want to see him fight Bivol. I think Bivol beats him, honestly. And
he
it's
shouldn't
not
go up anymore.
No, he's 5'8".
I know, like Saunders looked a little bigger than him.
He is bigger than him. All these guys are.
Yeah, he should stop.
I sparred
going
Canelo
up in weight
when
classes.
he was fighting at 150. And, he's just not a big guy. He's shorter than me, 100%. And the fact that he's fighting at 68 is crazy. I mean, he looks like a tank in there, but still.
Give me your 5, your pound for pound list, the top 5.
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
So I got Canelo number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, Terrence Crawford. 3, Errol Spence.
What weight class is Terrence?
47.
Okay, and
I think that Errol and Crawford are, I could switch them.
They're both the same.
They're interchangeable. Yeah, they're like they still have. I think I feel like Terrence is probably a better fighter in terms of what I've seen, but Errol has fought so much better competition and beat them and dominated them.
They're the same weight class?
Yes.
Why don't they fight?
It's in the process. Errol's about to fight Pacquiao. So.
That's what's wrong with fucking boxing, man. All this
Well, that's why I said the Taylor Ramirez fight was so great, because you had these 2 undefeated guys who absolutely need to fight each other, and they did. Number 3, I'll probably put Inoue. Number 4, Inoue, the Japanese fighter. He's fucking awesome. And
is he undefeated?
Undefeated, yeah. Yeah. His nickname is the Monster. He's great. And then number 5, Teofimo.
Is he undefeated?
Yes.
It's crazy how like in boxing, like you're not undefeated, you're.
You don't count.
That's like
on
the
list,
first thing I ask.
No, Canelo's got losses. Canelo's a loss and 2 draws.
Yeah.
But I think he's the best fighter in the world. Yeah, so I got Canelo, and then 2-3 is going to be Crawford or Spence. 4 is going to be Inoue, and then 5 would be Teofimo. And Teofimo could easily skyrocket up there. And Josh Taylor is knocking on that door. He looked fucking phenomenal this weekend. It's crazy that Pacquiao's still in the top 10. Fucking 20 years later.
You think he's gonna get demolished?
No, I don't. He might fucking win. That's the crazy part.
Man, that would be awesome. If Pacquiao could like beat up this up and comer.
I mean, he just beat Keith Thurman. Like Keith Thurman was, definitely not a Spence. He's not the same. He's not the same thing as Spence, but on the level in terms of what a casual would think. Yeah, same level. Undefeated, young, world champion, big power, and Pacquiao beat the fuck out of Thurman.
And if he knocks this dude out, it'll make you look good.
Either way, I fought both. Either way, I look good.
You fought both who?
Errol and Pacquiao. Spence and Pacquiao. One of both.
I didn't see the Spence one. How'd it go, Chris?
Worst fight of my career. I got my ass kicked.
Worse than Pacquiao?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I had nothing for that guy. Pacquiao. I can blame my camp on both, but Pacquiao was just in over my head because of the time of my career, but super fun. I mean, Pacquiao did things in that ring that, again, he's one of the 3 best fighters I've ever seen live. Number 1 is Floyd Mayweather. Actually, not in any order. Floyd, Pacquiao, I was in the ring with him, and Canelo. The things that those guys do in the ring are next level.
What could you have done differently with Spence?
I could have had a different coach, a different training camp, and I could have had a non-injured knee going in. I thought I could beat him anyway. I didn't realize how good he was, and I was like, I'll just, I said I was going to out-scrap him, and then I realized he was way too strong, and I was like, okay, I got to move on him, and then I was like, oh shit, the knee's not good.
You had a bum knee?
Yeah, I had surgery 3 days after the fight.
But you needed that payday, dog.
No, I just needed to beat the fucking young guy. I thought I could.
Okay. Gotcha. Dude, I tried that tequila that you were drinking the other day, Chris.
Which one was that?
Delicious, though. 1800
Yeah.
Cristalino Añejo.
Mm-hmm.
That's good, man.
Solid.
It was really good. I enjoyed it a lot.
I'm not really a tequila guy, but that's a good choice.
It's good.
It's interesting. I don't drink tequila that much, but I do really like it. I'm surprised by people's negative reaction and association with tequila, because to me it's like one of the smoother liquors.
Right. I think most people just shoot it, and like that's what they're used to.
Yeah. Gary, the thing is that everybody has a tequila story like during spring break or Memorial Day and stuff like that. That's not good. Like, really good tequila isn't really meant to be
Yeah. I don't really like to just take shots of tequila. I mean, I will, but like, I'd rather take a good tequila and drink it like I would drink
and
whiskey.
sip it.
Okay, so this is a good question. What do you guys shoot? Like, if you're gonna shoot something?
Jaeger bombs.
I mean, it's almost like for shots. I mean, it could be fucking anything because it's just, you know what I mean? It's like a waste. You're just dropping it. But I'll tell you what I hate. I don't like fucking vodka. I think vodka is just a very harsh.
If you shoot vodka, you're an asshole. Like that's.
Dude.
The last time I had shots was like Patron Cafe.
Ooh, those are good. Those are delicious.
That's gonna hurt though. That's gonna hurt the next day.
I tried Fireball the other day, but I didn't
mix the Fireball with a little rum chata. That's fucking phenomenal.
What's up?
It tastes like cinnamon toast crunch.
Interesting.
Yeah, because otherwise I don't like Fireball. But if you mix it with rum chata, it's fucking delicious.
Rum chata and Fireball.
It's just about the only shot I actually know how to make. That's like a mixed shot.
Gary, do you have like good liquor stores over there?
Okay, so I'll say this: liquor it's a little hit or miss because they don't carry some stuff that's like super commonplace sometimes, but they do decent on whiskey, and I'm a whiskey guy. Like I see like a lot of whiskeys that I don't normally see in the States, which is cool. they do really good for craft beer, believe it or not. I was really
Really?
surprised because like it's so hard to fucking get shit on the island, like just normal shit. But literally, like almost every store you walk in that sells beer has like a fucking full dude. Even like gas stations just have a full case of all different kinds of craft beers, like
That's
IPAs, just like more obscure stuff, like.
That's solid.
And like, man, that's like it's harder to find the craft beers and stuff that I like in Jersey than it is here. I
That's
find
cool.
them more regularly. But in terms of liquor, it's hard to say. I'm not like a huge, like I said, like it's just whiskey for me. I have a bunch of other liquor at my house for other people, but I don't really drink any of the rest of it. So.
Okay. Cool. Did you guys see the Eternals, the trailer for that new Marvel movie?
No.
You guys remember that funny Indian comedian that used to be fat and then he got like super jacked?
Yeah, I do. He was fat.
Like it's like the craziest transformation in Hollywood ever.
I'm looking this up. He's like
Garry.
super jacked, right?
Like super duper.
Yeah.
jacked.
Here he is.
Like more
Kamal
right,
Nagiani. Nagiani.
Yes. Yes.
Really fucking jacked.
Dude, and he was like a little pudgy, funny guy.
He was,
Um,
there we go.
So he's like in that new movie, The Eternals. No, he's like even more jacked now.
That's funny.
So he's
Steroids
in
are
that.
cool.
Yeah, HGH is a hell of a drug.
Fucking awesome. I need to talk to Vinny the Chin about that. He needs to
Oh,
get me
dude,
on
we
the
should do a
cycle.
steroids episode with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should like put up a bunch of like before and after photos and stuff and ask him which people he thinks is on the sauce and like ask him what he thinks they're on. It would be fun.
I bet you he'll know.
Dude, I still think
No.
we should do that episode. I still think we should do that episode, the plastic surgery episode, where we
Yeah,
get a
I like
plastic surgeon
that
on
idea.
here, and we do like a before after pics, or not before after pics, but just pics of different chicks and stuff, and have him analyze and tell us what he thinks.
Hmm. Let's do it.
Do we
Let's
know a
round up.
plastic surgeon that would be on board for that? Listeners at home.
I didn't. Oh yeah, like yeah. Let's if anybody can
This
reach
is
out
what
to
this is
somebody that
for,
they know.
guys.
Fleshwoundpodcast.
Yeah, if anybody can reach out that they know that's super
gmail.com.
cool, that would be have some
Or
fun with
DM
us
us.
and come on and fucking do that. That'd be great.
Gary, have
Yeah.
you seen the movie Sleepers?
Sleep.
Good movie.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know,
just
what it's
saw it.
about?
I saw it this weekend. Man.
First
that's
time?
No. It's second time, but
What's it about?
I have forgotten how good that movie was.
That's one of my favorite movies of all time. Do you guys watch
Awesome.
Kingdom?
The MMA, the Frank Grillo
Yeah.
thing.
Nah, I didn't
Yeah.
watch it.
You know
I
the
heard it
you know
was
the crazy younger crazy brother. I guess he's the middle or the older brother. The crazy one who was in jail. No, not in jail. The crazy one who was the drug addict, who was super talented. He's like super shredded on the show.
Gary hasn't seen Kingdom.
Okay, but he's in
Yeah, I know.
Sleepers. He's the kid. Yeah,
He's the kid.
that was my point. But that movie, Sleepers, is dude, Gary. That movie is awesome. It's about does it take place in the Bronx?
Yeah.
It takes place in the Bronx,
They,
and it's like a Catholic priest.
He like rapes these kids,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
it's
you
like
guys
it's
are
good.
You guys are into some weird fucking movies, man.
No, dude, it's like it's.
Nah, dude,
Gary,
this is a super solid movie.
Gary, do you trust us?
De Niro's in it.
Don't-
De Niro, he's the
don't ask.
priest. He's
Fucking
like the
Bob
guy.
De Niro, Brad
Let me
Pitt.
just from my perspective, I just want
I
you
forgot
to
Brad Pitt
hear.
was in there.
I need you guys to hear what you just told me. I'm gonna say it back to you, and then I want you to pretend that you're me hearing it for the first time.
Fair,
Okay.
fair.
Hey, Gary. We really think this movie is a great fucking movie. You gotta see it. Hey guys, what's it about? Oh, it's about this Catholic priest that rapes a bunch of little kids.
Well, no, the priest doesn't, but there's raping.
Okay. Okay, Gary. What if I
Yeah.
told you there was a really good movie? Listen, I'm
I
not
fucked
done.
it up. It was my
I
fault.
didn't. No, shut up.
I'm
There's
listening.
there's a really good movie with. Listen to this. Kevin Bacon,
Uh-huh.
Robert De Niro,
Okay.
Dustin Hoffman,
Okay.
and Brad Pitt.
Uh-huh.
Would you see it? Come on.
There's also
Sure. What's the movie about, Frankie?
No, I'm not telling you. Just watch the fucking movie.
No. This is how you say it. It's a revenge movie.
Yeah. Yes.
It's a revenge movie.
It's a revenge movie, Gary.
It's a revenge movie, which is the best plot line there is. in
Yeah.
movies.
Speaking of revenge movies, did you guys watch that one of the Road Rage revenge movie?
No, not yet.
Oh, with
Is it
Russell
good?
Crowe.
What's it called? I forget.
Unhinged.
Russell Crowe, right?
Unhinged.
Unhinged.
Dude,
Is it good? Is it
watch
good?
it.
It's worth a watch.
It has a bad rating, but man,
Yeah,
if
I like bad rating movies.
if you're the kind of person that like, I mean, I feel like everybody's been involved in some sort of road rage in their life. It's just, I just think it's fucking phenomenal the stuff that happens, you know, in that movie. It's fucking great, dude.
You know what's a really good like rage movie? Falling Down
Yes, I knew you were gonna say that. I love that movie.
with
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas. Like this guy just starts having a bad day, and he's kind of
It's a road rage movie, essentially. That's where he starts.
And the guy just like he falls off the wagon and
Fuck,
just starts
that's a good movie.
Walking
I would love to watch. I gotta watch a bunch of. I like
crazy
revenge
shit.
movies.
If you're having a bad day and you watch that movie, you're gonna have a bad week.
Nice.
Oh,
The
shit.
best revenge movie that sticks out to me that was like actually like a good movie, because like the Unhinged, I don't know if it's necessarily a good movie. It's just you're gonna like it. Like it's just gonna be like something
Like Bone
that resonates. Yeah, exactly. It resonates with you. Was Law Abiding Citizen. That was probably
I
one
don't
of the best.
remember that
revenge
one.
movies. You didn't want with the guy from 300. Fucking, he stabbed somebody in the fucking chest in the neck with a T-bone steak.
What?
You guys you're telling me you haven't seen Law Abiding Citizen?
I guarantee I've seen it. I just don't
Dude,
really
no
remember it.
way. Dude, you would remember the T-bone steak. That's the most
Nah, maybe I guess I didn't
iconic
see it.
scene in the fucking movie. I actually am kind of upset I ruined that scene for you. I thought for sure
I
you
love
guys-
when movies when people get killed with weird things, like in John Wick 3 when he killed the guy with the book. He like shoved it in his throat and he's just like.
Wait,
Yes.
Gary, was he in jail when he did that?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen that movie.
Okay.
Oh yeah, actually I remember that too. Yeah, I do remember.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. I'm
'Cause when you
surprised it's
said-
not more memorable for you guys. I love
You know,
it.
when you said T-bone and shanking some dude, the first thing that came to mind was some guy, him doing that in jail, and now I remember.
How often do they get T-bones in jail, by the way? Hopefully not often.
Well, so the whole thing was a setup. I'm guessing you guys don't remember much about the movie.
Yeah. Like he had like a bet or something with a meal.
He gave
He
some
planned it.
information that they wanted, and he's like, "Listen, I'll give you this information, but if I give you this information, I get a meal of my choosing, at my time or whatever the case may be." And so then he
Wasn't it
told
with
them,
Jamie
like,
Foxx?
yes, Jamie Foxx is in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a serial killer movie. It's
Yeah,
like Saw.
kinda.
It's kind of like Saw.
But you're rooting for him the whole time though, because they
love
fucked
it.
with his family hard
Yeah.
at the beginning, you know.
That's a good movie. That's a really good movie.
When's the last time you guys watched Saw? Mentioning Saw.
I don't know. I
I
love
watched 3 of them this weekend. So I had like a really
There's
late
an-
flight over to Vegas over the weekend, and then like the morning before fights, like when you're in quarantine, there's not really much to do. Like I watch fights, you know, to get ready for my show, but like I only had 3 fights to call, and most of the guys I'd called before. So I watched 3 Saw movies on Friday. They're
Nice.
they're good.
You're
Those
a
are-
psycho.
Those are entertaining movies.
There's a new one called Spiral with what's the
I need a list of all the movies.
what's
you
the
guys are watching,
the
man.
super
Fuck,
funny
I'm gonna forget all
I have
these.
one. I'll send it
Chris
to you.
Rock. Chris Rock.
I don't
He's
want
a
to see
leading
Chris
actor.
Rock in a movie. No, I don't want to see him as a lead role ever. I'm good. I'll see him as a lead fucking stand-up comic, but I don't want to see him in a movie.
Yeah.
Because he talks like he's on stage. I don't want to. You can't act the same way you talk on stage.
Oh yeah, baby.
This one, we cruised through this one.
Because we hadn't seen each other in so long.
All right, Gary, I'm sending you these movies right
And it feels so good.
now. We should post this movie list for our fans.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's do it. All right, little
Homework
bitches.
for everybody.
Right, homies.
Have a good one.
All right.
For
Good night,
no
guys.
man, no man, no man, no man, no
We're calling a draw.
man, no man.
Just a flesh wound. Just a flesh wound. Just a flesh wound.